on the two most important, but I'd like to go to others which may not have been discussed but equally important, if I may. So, maliwanag na yung over-allocation, maliwanag na rin yung overpricing, and this will be resolved. And I assure you, there will be a marked change, not just in perception, but even in the people's trust and confidence in government. Now, on transparency and public access to the monitoring system of DPWH, I know that DPWH has developed several internal monitoring platforms. I'd like to know, is this the InfraTrack, the project and contract management application, and various digital dashboards that consolidate project data, physical and financial accomplishments, contract performance, and the status of fund releases? That's good on paper. And we've actually discussed this, but it's difficult to traverse. These systems are currently restricted to internal users with limited visibility to COA, even to DBM or the general public. Given that these tools already contain detailed information on project locations, timelines and budgets, and completion rates, their non-disclosure as of now deprives Congress and the public of a vital accountability instrument. So my question is, why are these digital platforms and project dashboards not accessible to the public, even in summary or redacted forms, assuming there's data privacy issues? May I know from the good secretary?
Ma'am, Mr. Chair, if I may answer you frankly, that was exactly my same question when I entered DPWH. Why? Why are these documents, information not easily accessible, not just to members of the Senate or Congress, but more importantly to the general public? This is the people's money we are talking about, and it should be accessible. So what we are doing again as another major piece of reform is a transparency portal. This is already being developed now and should be made public in the next few weeks as well. Now, we are working double time on this. This will, first of all, put together all the IT systems for monitoring, for document management, etc., into one system that can be easily accessed by the public. And we should be able to roll this out very soon. In fact, even the monitoring of the projects, very, very similar to what the President launched when he launched Isumbong Mo sa Pangulo. This will provide a similar functionality to the general public, so that the public can not only access information, but can also provide feedback to the agency in terms of projects that they see are not there, projects that they see that are not being worked on, yung mga delayed na ng matagal. All of that, Paul, will be part of the transparency portal. We're actually very, very excited about this. And I think it will be the first of its kind in the Philippine government, and we are working very, very closely with members of the private sector on this. So, Mr. Chairman, Madam Senator, I think once you see this and once the public sees this, it will be a first of its kind, and it will set the benchmark for other government agencies as well. Thank you.
I have more questions. I will just await the documents this afternoon for the legislative district allocations in NEP and GAB. I will, Mr. Chair, take my round 2 after Senator Aquino and Senator Go. And I thank the good secretary for being very honest, transparent in answering the question. Thank you for your patience. Yes.
Thank you, Senator Lauren. We recognize first Senator Go, and then now we recognize Senator Bam Aquino.
Maraming salamat, Chairman Win. Magandang araw, Secretary Vince, at mga kaibigan sa DPWH, magandang araw po. So marami po akong tanong, Secretary Dizon. I have a lot of questions, no? But let me begin with yung mga flood control visits po ninyo, no? Nakarami ho kayo and susubaybayan po namin yan. In fact, may mga ilang lugar medyo nagalit nga kayo, kagalit-galit naman po talaga. may natuklasan po ba kayo na maayos na flood control? Meron naman o wala?
Meron po.
Meron.
Meron po.
Can you tell us ano yung mga lugar na puntahan mo na problemado at ano yung lugar na puntahan mo na maayos naman, no? Without prejudice to your continuing investigation.
Opo. Unang-una po, yung unang nakita ko mismo personally ay yung binisita po mismo ng ating Pangulo sa Claveria sa Cagayan Valley. Alam niyo po, ito po ay 500 million pesos na proyekto. Ito po ay hindi lamang flood control, kung hindi ito po ay joint project with the National Irrigation Administration sa pamumuno po ni Admin Eddie Guillen. Alam niyo po, nung nakita ko po ito, I could not help myself but inform the President that the President has to see it himself. Kasi po talaga, hindi lang po siya na pagkakita mo pa lang, alam mong epektibo siya. Pero yun pong mismong mga tao doon, yung mga magsasaka lalo na, nung natapos po ito last year, no, itong proyektong to, dahil simula po ito noong 2023, natapos po ng 2024. No, tinanong ko po yung mga magsasaka doon. At ang sabi po nila, bago po dumating itong proyektong ito, no, it is a series of water impounding projects, no, mga dam po, no, may malaking dam, may dalawang maliit, tatlo po sila, no, upstream puntang downstream. Bago daw po magawa itong tatlong proyektong ito, sabi po ng mga magsasaka doon, madalas po nasisira po ang kanilang taniman ng palay sa Cagayan. Pero nung pong nagawa ito, talaga pong nape-preserve na po yung kanilang pag-aani at nabibigyan pa sila ng year-round irrigation. So this is a perfect example of a flood control that really worked. And I asked our team po, paano nagawa ito? Paano nagawa ito? Kasi napakaganda po nito. No? Ang sabi po nila, unang-una po, ito ay naplano ng tama. Naplano po ito jointly with NIA and DPWH. Kinonsulta po ang local stakeholders, pati po ang local, provincial at regional development council. At ito po ay na-implement on budget and on time. Ito po ay natapos ng within 14 months lang po, Mr. Chairman. At 500 million lang po, pero napakalaki po ng tulong na ginawa nito sa ating mga magsasaka sa Cagayan Valley. Kaya isa po itong example. Ang isa po pong example, yung pong binisita ni Pangulo din mismo sa Marikina. No, yung pong flood projects na foreign assisted naman po yon, no? At flagship projects. Kaya po ang nakita po nating recipe for success, unang-una, pinlano ng mabuti, kinonsulta ang lokal at ang probinsya at ang region at minonitor po ng tama at in-implement po ng tama.
At may pangatlo, walang nakialam na politiko.
Yun po hindi ko po alam kung
Okay.
merong nakialam o wala. Pero regardless po kung may nakialam na mayor, governor, congressman, ito po talaga napakaganda po ng naging result.
Maayos. So in Cagayan, may RDC approval po ito. So dumaan sa proseso na iba't ibang stakeholders sumang-ayon sila. That went to the DPWH regional, and DPWH regional requested for the budget through the
As implementing agency, pero dahil ito po ay foreign assisted, ito po ay dumadaan sa napakamabusising proseso through the NEDA, now the DepDev Council, no? Yung Economic and Development Council. So dumadaan po yan sa masusing feasibility study, dumadaan po yan sa masusing planning, at dumadaan po yan sa napakamasusing approval process led by the now DepDev, kasama po ang TOF, dahil yan po ay inutang natin, no, sa iba't ibang ahensya tulad ng ADB at World Bank.
Sino po yung mag-i-implement po niyan? Is it
DPWH po.
and you bid this out to contractors also?
Yes.
In the usual process.
In the very, very transparent process that is approved by our lenders, either the ADB or the World Bank.
And kasama po ba sila dun sa back or do they monitor the
They monitor it very, very closely po.
Okay.
Pero yan po ay dumadaan sa back ng central office.
Okay.
Dahil malalaki pong mga proyekto ito.
Hindi yan nakaback dun sa distrito.
Hindi po.
Hindi. Okay. So medyo nakikita mo yung ingredients, no? For proper projects. Dalawa po yan. Ilan po yung nabisita na po ninyo? I know you've been only here for a month, but it seems every week may napupuntahan po kayo.
Yung maayos mong proyekto, yung pong dalawang pang yun.
Out of,
Out of, I think,
sa nabisita po ninyo? 10.
10 po siguro.
So 2 out of 10.
Opo.
And then nagkaroon din po kayo ng statement 421. Tama ba?
Ito po ang isinumite sa ICI ng joint validation ng AFP, PNP, DepDev at ng DP.
400 plus
20 plus. Opo.
ghost projects.
Suspected ghost.
Suspected ghost out of 8,000.
Out of the 8,000 na initially vinalidate po.
Okay. So ito po, sabay-sabay nag-validate ang AFP, ang iba't ibang partner organizations. Siguro pinuntahan nila yung mga lugar nung wala hong nakita, sinabi, suspected po ito na ghost project. Yung 421 po na yon, pag in-add ninyo yung cost, kung magkano ho yun, magkano po aabutin yung 421?
Malaki-laki po yan. No? Iba-iba ho ang cost. No?
Yes.
Let me get back to the committee po, Mr. Chairman, on an estimate of that. No, we will submit it
Okay.
to the committee.
So initially may initial findings, so you will validate if indeed it is a ghost project. Ano po yung next step ninyo, Secretary? Kapag na-validate nga na ghost project po ito. Assuming po ito bayad na, no? Completed na po ang sa records ninyo. So meaning hindi na to pwedeng mahabol, in short. So completed sa records ninyo, wala kayong nakita. This is most likely a ghost project. What is your next step?
Opo. Ayon na rin po sa magiging struktura at sistema ng ICI dahil sila po ang talagang nag-iimbestiga na ngayon nitong mga proyektong to. Kami po ay support sa kanila. Unang-una po, i-validate ng ICI sa tulong na rin ng iba't ibang ahensya. Pag na-validate na po ito po ay magsisimula na ang o in parallel po gagawin ang case build-up. Lahat po ng dokumento ay nasumiti na namin sa ICI at yan po ay mag-build up na po ng kaso. Yan po ay anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks. After po ng case build-up, yan po ay i-ready na po for filing or referral with the Office of the Ombudsman. So roughly, ang sinabi po ng ICI dyan, ang timetable po dyan ay 3 to 4 weeks na ginagawa in parallel.
Tama po, Secretary, kapag civilian, DOJ, kapag official, elected or appointed ombudsman, kapag inahabol yung pera, pwede sa PCC. Correct, no?
Hindi po. Actually po, kapag po merong ebidensya na, no, na ng may may sabwatan, no, ang contractor at ang mga taga DPWH, yun po ay lahat sa ombudsman na po yun.
Okay.
In fact, for example, yung pong kaso sa First District of Bulacan na final namin, sa ombudsman po yun final.
And we're now waiting for the ombudsman
To file with the Sandigan
to
Bayan.
file with the Sandigan Bayan, of which the amounts are so huge na non-bailable po yung mga
Tama po.
amounts na.
Tama po,
Tama.
Mr. Chairman.
So 421 possible ghost projects. Ano po yan? Sa lahat ng lugar ng Pilipinas po yan? I'm guessing it's
Iba't ibang
practically
lugar
in
po.
all provinces po.
Iba't ibang lugar po at
Multiple provinces.
ano na rin po, ang date po ng sinabi ng ICI ay yung sa initial na 8,000 na binalidate is 2018 to 2024. Yun po ang sinabi ng ICI sa kanilang presentation.
Okay. And because completed na po ito sa records ninyo, kapag nakita ninyong wala, that's already evidence na ghost po ito.
Tama po.
So roughly, nakikita ho natin may 400 plus. Sa inyo pong mga napuntahan, 80% ng pinuntahan po ninyo may problema. And ang tao po naghihintay talaga ng resolution po dito. And we hope that mahirap po yung trabaho dahil napakalawak po ng problema. But we hope that the agency and the ombudsman can work fast and come up with some level of resolution, especially po dito sa mga clearly in violation of the law. Okay, let's go to the PCC, Sec, no? So ito na pag-uusapan naman natin. In fact, nagme-message tayo about this. Magkano ang posibleng mahabol ng Philippine Competition Commission doon po sa mga na-file na po ninyo?
Doon po sa na-file na po namin na
Primarily with the Discayas, no? Or iba-iba?
iba-iba. May SunWest, may Diskaya, Wawaw, Sibs.
Okay.
May estimate na po tayo dun sa initial 12, I think. $2.5 billion po, dun pa lang po sa gabing dalawang proyektong yan.
Okay, 2.5 billion just for 12 projects or just for 12 cases? And multiple projects per case?
Just for 12 projects.
Just for 12 projects.
Opo.
2.5 billion na yung posibleng makuha.
12 projects po.
Okay. So, well, kung 421 po yan, eh talagang hundreds of billions yung pwede nyo pong ma-recover. No? Kasi mahalaga tong parte ng proseso tsaka ng hinahanap ng tao. No? Hindi lang na makulong yung kasangkot pero mabalik rin yung pera. So this is a way for us to get that money back. Correct po, no?
Absolutely po, Mr. Chairman.
If the PCC rules on this, ano po yan? I-sheriff po yung assets ng mga nakasakdal. Tama po?
Tama po.
And the sheriff can get properties, vehicles, bank accounts. Iba-iba po yan, no? Pwede pong kunin para makuha itong perang ito.
Tama po, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. And I don't recall in the law, but yung nakuhang pera ng PCC, is it remitted to the National Treasury or it stays with the Competition Commission?
Pagkakaalam ko po ay babalik po ito sa Treasury.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman.
so we do want to see this as soon as possible. At papaalala ko lang po, preponderance of evidence lang po yung bar ng PCC, hindi beyond reasonable doubt. So kaya po talaga nilang umaksyon ng mabilis, no? Okay, let me go to classrooms. Ilan na po ang nagawang classroom ng DPWH for 2025? At ilan po yung projected na magagawa po ninyo for 2025?
Mr. Chairman, let me just get the information. For
Oh.
2025 po, ang ito ba no? Ang baba nito. So, for 2025 po, out of 1,700 na dapat gawin, 22 pa lang po ang completed at 882 po ang ongoing.
Okay, October na. Seka,
At meron pong 882 na not yet even started. So, it's a very deplorable rate of only 15.43%.
exactly. So, ito po kasi yung ito yung resulta ng mga issues ho natin with the agency, our issues with flood control. Isipin nyo po, Sec, naging priority ang flood control for the past year, no? As a national infrastructure. If you look at the budget, practically 1/3 ng budget ng DPWH dapat sa flood control. At ngayon tinanggal na yan. Alam natin, maganda po yun. But when you look at our classrooms, 22 completed for 2025 is not even, you can't even explain that, di ba? Hindi mo yun, even just saying it, sumasakit po yung puso ko na 22 lang po yung nagawang classroom. Ang current classroom backlog ho natin ay 146,000. By 2028, if we continue at this rate, aabot ho tayo ng 200,000. No? So, Sec, anong gagawin natin dito? 22 classrooms ang nagawa po ng DPWH, October na po, 2025.
We will have to find a way to fast track it. But I think the more important question, Mr. Chairman, is bakit 22 lang, no, ang nagagawa? At yan po ay kailangan nating malaman. At bakit ano ang cost ng delay? Pondo ba? O proseso ba? Kailangan po nating malaman yan. And I will, makikipagtulungan po ako kay Secretary Angara para mapabilis natin at maghanap tayo ng catch-up plan. Kasi po, hindi lang po October, it's magno-November na po, magpapasko na po. Kailangan po talaga mabilisan po ito.
Opo. So we currently have a classroom acceleration bill, Secretary Vince. This has been certified as one of the urgent bills. Yung plano ho dito ay ang pondo para sa classroom building. Tanggalin muna natin sa DPWH dahil busy ho kayo. Marami kayong kailangan asikasuhin. Marami kayo kailangan gawin. At ibigay yung pondo sa mga LGU directly para sabay-sabay pong gagawa. No? Secretary Angara is on board with this proposal. The chairman is also on board with this proposal. But what we intend to do is yung pondo para sa classrooms for this year, possibly maybe even, for next year, maybe even for this year kasi mukhang hindi rin magagamit. At dagdagan pa natin ng pondo mula sa flood control. At sana po meron tayong chance ang makagawa ng classroom ng sabay-sabay. Secretary Vince, do we have may we solicit your opinion or support for this measure?
We are in full support of this measure, especially now na 22 pa lang po ang nagagawa ng departamento ngayong taon. Kailangan po talaga natin ng tulong. No? At hindi lang po mga partnerships with LGU. Tingin ko po, nag-usap na rin po kami ni Secretary Sani Angara tungkol dito. Tingin ko po kailangan mag-aggressive PPP din po tayo
Yes.
para mapagawa natin ng mas mabilis. Kasi po, at this rate, it's virtually impossible po na magawa lang po ng DPWH itong kailangan nating mga classrooms.
Yes, so mag-PPP po ang DepEd, but that will happen the middle of next year kasi may proseso po yung PPP. In the meantime, what we want to pursue is reallocating that budget for classrooms at direct download sa hundreds, if not, most of the LGUs kasi lahat po sila, practically lahat mayroong classroom gap. And we enjoin everyone to build at the same time. Then yung mga NGOs na matagal nang may track record, gaya ng Chinese Chamber, pwede rin silang bigyan ng suporta para makagawa sa mga GIDA areas o yung geographically isolated areas. Yun po yung mga one classroom. Now, Sec, babanggitin ko rin, we've been working on this bill for months. Ang presyo sa DPWH is roughly at about 3 million and above. Nasa 3.5 million per classroom. Panahon pa po ni Secretary Bonoan, binabanggit ko na po ito. No? The NGOs can build classrooms at less than 1.5 million pesos. Of course, iniintindi namin yung differences. Meron namang differences in fairness. When we were about to sponsor this bill, sumabay po yun dun sa Blue Ribbon hearing na binanggit nung Bulacan district engineers na nag-overprice sila ng kanilang specs. So we didn't push through with the sponsorship. Instead, inaral namin yung design. And we're now asking support from the United Architects of the Philippines, different groups, to come up with a design na will satisfy the standards for our schools na earthquake resilient, typhoon resilient, lahat ng mga standards. Pero mukhang lumalabas po na nasa 2 million lang talaga. No? Nasa 2 million lang po talaga per classroom yung labas. And we're talking about single, double, even yung building, no? Yung vertical na 2-story o 3-story. Lumalabas po talaga na mas mababa. Kapag ni-redesign mo, mas mababa because the DUPA, yung cost per material, nabanggit nyo na naman po ito, mataas. Pangalawa, yung disenyo mismo, meron talagang over-design. No? At binanggit naman po ito sa Blue Ribbon hearing, dito po tinatago yung ibang mga pag-overprice. So kung classroom pa lang, kailangan na ng pag-redesign or paghalungkat ulit ng pagdisenyo, plus yung presyo per material, isipin nyo po yung trabaho po ninyo, parang napakalaki talaga, napakalaki ng kailangan yung gawin if you will try to look at all of the designs again and all of the prices again, Secretary.
You're absolutely right. And Mr. Chairman, if I may be frank, ang inutos po ng Pangulo sa akin, hindi depensahan ang DPWH. Ang utos po ng Pangulo sa atin ay reformahin ang DPWH at baguhin ang DPWH. At lahat po ng sinasabi nyo is absolutely correct po. At kasama po sa reforma ay yung pagbabago sa presyo. Kasi po, sabi nga po na kanina, hindi na po taon ang binibilang dito. Dekada na po ito. Dekada na po ito na paulit-ulit. No, so I think with the help of the Senate and the will of the President to get these reforms done, I think po magagawa na po natin ito once and for all.
Sec, in the last time tayo nagkita, I don't remember if it's Blue Ribbon or DPWH, nabanggit niyo po na ipapublish nyo yung, is it CMPD? CMPD, no? Construction Materials Price, what's D? Hindi ba index yun? Data. Ipapublish nyo po yung CMPD, no? People can compare yung CMPD doon sa kanilang hardware store. Dapat mas mababa kayo sa retail, di ba? Nabanggit niyo po yon. Yun palang malaking bagay yon. And honestly, across the board, malaking tulong po yan. But yung designs, I think kailangan nyo rin tingnan. And that will take a little bit more time. Medyo mas masalimuot po yon. Tama po, Secretary?
Tama po. In fact po, maganda po yung tanong ninyo, Mr. Chairman, kasi nga po ngayon, meron po tayong bagong itinalaga na OIC ng Technical Services. No? She has been with the DPWH since 2013. She was part of the cadet engineering program, very young, 36 years old. At siya po ang head ng Bureau of Design ngayon. No? At sinabihan ko po siya, kanina gang umaga, na kailangan po, hindi kang classrooms. Pati, kasi nakikita din po natin sa iba pang mga proyekto, sa mga public buildings, sa mga kalye, sa asphalting, sa iba pa pong sa bridges, no? Nakikita din po natin yon. So kailangan po talagang repasuhin at humingi ng tulong sa private sector para po talagang hindi lang mapababa ang cost, kundi itama ang design, gawing mas resilient, pero at the same time, wag namang over-design na sinasadya para lang magnakaw.
So we agree there, Secretary. So yung namungkahi po ni Senator Loren na across the board cut, no? Napag-uusapan po namin yan. Across the board cut, nabanggit po niya 25. Initially 20% po yung nabanggit ko. Across the board cut sa inyong budget, kung hindi po makikita yung mga changes na nais natin makita, no? You mentioned that you have an announcement soon. Maaaral niyo po yung mga disenyo, although that's a short span of time. But kung hindi kasi maibibigay yung redesign, hindi ho maibibigay yung pagbaba ng cost of materials, I think a 20% cut might be warranted, no? Of course, pag-uusapan po namin yan. Kasi kung may overprice, sa konsyensya po namin, hindi kami makakapagpirma pag alam naming yung disenyo at yung cost of materials ay naka-overprice. But since December pa naman po yung budget, and as you're very familiar, umaabot po ito ng third week of December, there's time. Now, on August 19, kay Secretary Bunoan, hindi pa po kayo yung nakaupo, nasabi ko na po sa kanya yan. Sabi ko, sir, may chance kayo to resubmit yung mga project. I-resubmit ninyo yung presyo at yung mga proyekto, yung mga proyektong alanganin, tanggalin ninyo, yung mga proyekto na overpriced, ayusin ninyo, and we will be very open to accepting a resubmitted budget detailing all of the projects that you want to do. Tanggalin na po natin yung taba, di ba? Let's take out the overpriced, let's focus on the right projects. Gawin natin yung tama, no? And alam ko po, hindi madali yun, but we have time. Now, kung hindi ho yan matatapos, I will support the 20% cut on the budget just to make sure na wala yung tabang yan, no? Yung ginagamit para sa parking, para sa mga terms nga to, bago sa akin, parking, sagasa, kung ano-ano pa, matanggal natin yan. 'Di ba? Mga ganyan. Tanggalin natin yan. Let's go for the real price of these projects dahil yun po yung nararapat sa taong bayan. No? Sec, any comment there?
Opo, we fully support the efforts of the Senate po to do that, Mr. Chairman.
Alright, kasi po kung meron pong substandard, overdesigned, or overpriced, hindi ho namin kayang pirmahan ng budget na yan. No? Bawasan po natin yung nawawalang pondo na mahalagang napupunta po sa tama. No? Okay, so final questions ko po are on blockchain, no? And your efforts po for transparency. So pareho naman po yung partners natin, di ba? So the same groups who are supporting us with the bill for the blockchain, the budget, are also the group supporting you. Meron po kaming bagong version kasi nag-hearing na po kami and we're gonna have a TWG and a second hearing very soon. We would like for you to participate also in our hearings. Hindi naman po kailangan ikaw, Sec, busy ka, kahit another person in the department. The blockchain bill, the blockchain comes at the end. Yun po yung teknolohiya to secure the data. But the real first step is really disclosure. No, ito po yung binabanggit po ninyo. And even during the hearing, nabanggit rin na ang pinakamahirap hindi yung teknolohiya. Ang pinakamahirap yung pagbabago ng sistema na meron tayong disclosure, 'di ba? Para po kasi sa akin, parang ano yung evolution. You had the FOI, which is being sponsored now by Senator Robin. Then you had the full disclosure bill na nauso a few years ago. And now we have blockchain the budget bill, no? Similar po ang kanyang nais gawin. But lahat po yun nagsisimula na merong disclosure ng mga dokumento. So let me read to you part of Section 4. Ito na po yung bagong version. So Section 4 details ano yung mga dokumentong dapat nakalagay. And I'm hoping, we'll send this to you also, Sec, no? But we're hoping kasama ito sa transparency portal kasi definitely mauuna po kayo dun sa batas na ito, no? But let me just read Section 4, letter D. infrastructure and procurement-related documents, bid announcement, invitations to bid, notice of award, notice to proceed, contracts and purchase orders, program of work, bill of quantities, detailed unit price analysis, records of competing bids, inspection and acceptance report, delivery receipt, disbursement voucher, progressive billing and completion certificate, corporate and beneficial ownership disclosure, certification of good standing, and other relevant documents as part of compliance with government procurement requirements. So ito po, in the version that we have now, phase 1, within 6 months from the time that the bill is passed, we're hoping key agencies like DPWH, mauna na ho kayo. Bago pa mabuo yung sistema ng naka-blockchain, mauna na po kayo mag-disclose. So yung mga nabanggit ko po dito, ito rin po ba yung nais nyong ilabas sa transparency portal?
Mr. Chairman, nakakatuwa po nung in-enumerate nyo. Kasi sinasabi nga po ni Undersecretary Conti na parehas po. yung
Parehas na
listahan
parehas.
natin.
Okay. Baka po may kulang, dagdagan ninyo, huwag nyo lang tanggalan. Okay?
Opo. Oh, definitely po.
So,
Pero makakaasa po kayo no na lahat po ng ginistan yung mga dokumento dahil ito naman po ay public record na
Yes.
dahil dumaan na po ito sa procurement process.
yes.
Ito po dapat i-disclose o gawing transparent para sa ating mga kababayan.
Sa totoo lang, Sec, kahit ito lang, ang laking bagay na. 'Di ba? Malaking bagay na to. This is 60 to 80% of the challenge, 'di ba? To put it out there and transparent. Yung DUPA pa lang po, tsaka yung CMPD, ma-publish nyo lang po yan. Naka-publish na ba ang bagong CMPD? Hindi pa.
Sa kasalukuyan, rini-review kasi namin siya at kami nakikipag-consultation sa ating mga regions.
Okay.
Dahil ang CMPD po kasi is geographic. no?
Yes.
So, but we will be publishing it and ipapublish na rin po namin base dun sa mga proposal namin na ibaba.
Yung
No.
CMPD pa lang, just publishing that, malaking bagay na po yan. Malaking reforma na po yan. Ang key lang ho dyan, huwag kayong pumayag na yung CMPD per region dumodoble o tumitriple. Meron lang ho kayong allowed variance based on logistics, which shouldn't be double, di ba? Kasi masyadong malaki po yung doble. And ito, tinest ko to, you can actually go on ChatGPT or any of these AI, you can ask ano yung presyo ng, kunyari, semento in the hardware stores, mabibigay niya eh. So agad-agad, any citizen can compare your CMPD with retail price. And at all times, dapat mas mababa po siya. I think that's a fair, Secretary, that's a fair expectation na dapat mas mababa yung CMPD dun sa retail price dun sa lugar.
Fair expectation po yan.
Okay. So, let's work on this. We'll submit to you yung current draft po namin. Baka we can work on it already habang naghihiring pa lang po kami. And such that even if the bill is passed next year or the bill is passed, or even if the bill is not passed, at least nagawa na ho to at nag-coordinate po tayo, Sec.
Opo, you can count on our support, Mr. Chairman.
Alright. Secretary, maraming salamat. Mabigat po yung trabaho ninyo, pero marami po sa amin dito. We want to see the department reform and succeed. No? Salamat po. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much po, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you.